You are listening to the War Rapport.
It wasn't a happy Wednesday, so I don't even know why I said that, because Auburn Basketball suffered a pretty tough loss against Texas A&M at home. B, thoughts?
I'm going to take the bettor's perspective here. As somebody who has bet many college basketball seasons, each sport has its own like rhythm. It has its own like anatomy when it comes to betting seasons, right? I want y'all to think for a moment about college football. We know that everybody plays their cupcakes early. All right. You got big, powerful team playing a group of 5 team. You're going to bet the big, powerful team. And if you see some chinks in the armor, it's that the big team isn't blowing out the little team like they should be. It's like, man, you shouldn't be struggling with this cupcake team. Man, what's up with you? In college basketball, there's a little bit of that as well. Your non-conference schedule is often littered with teams who can't really compete with you. So you blow them out. You have no idea how good you are until you match up against some quality teams. Now, Bruce Pearl has never been scared to schedule tough opponents out of conference. He will play anybody. He'd probably take us to play the Chicago Bulls if they let us. Hey, they learn from it. And I'm sure they would. But it was a really good test for us to see how we played against Memphis. What was the other loss we had non-conference? The West Coast trip. USC probably wouldn't have lost if we were completely healthy, to tell you the truth. So I don't really take too much of what that result was. But the Memphis game was a game where they had a legit scorer. We had some defensive lapses. We turned the ball over a little too much. All right. You can still win a game like that, but what you have to have is a scorer to keep pace with their scorer. So we get to conference play. We lose to Georgia. I think Georgia was really just the team kind of out of sorts a little bit. I don't think if we replay Georgia, even at Georgia, I think we win that game today. But the way the college basketball season goes with betting, you usually don't bet. Let me not say that. You can bet whatever you want to. I don't bet heavily in the first 4 weeks of conference play. That's when you find out who is who. You don't know who is who before conference play. You could have some losses, and then conference play comes around, and then everybody starts playing together. And now you're like, oh, man, they didn't look like this. But then they lose to so-and-so in December and so-and-so in November, which is why I roll my eyes every time they're doing this bracketology about, well, remember that loss November 31st? Like, who cares? They didn't even know each other. These rosters are flipping over so much. They don't know who they're playing with as far as what they need to do and who they need to be. We're looking at a team where Katie Johnson is getting fewer and fewer minutes every week. Trey Donaldson is the number 2 point guard. Did we think it was going to be like that coming out of Israel, coming out of November? Teams change. What they do changes, and the coaches start figuring out how they want to use these players. And that really all starts to take form in January. Now, February happens. That's when you bet. You know why? Because February is when everybody's got tape on you doing what you think will work. And now the best coaches have to counter it, or they can't. And now you just what you are. You are just what you are in February. January, we were finding ourselves. We had a very easy conference schedule early. We have had a very forgiving conference schedule early. I saw these wins against South Carolina, against Mississippi State and Ole Miss, and even on a slightly injured Arkansas. And I go, okay, we are getting better. And that's what I don't want people to lose sight of. We have improved since we lost to Memphis. Our play has improved. Our play as a team, players are starting to get better. However, our limitations are still our limitations. And the reason we could not beat Texas A&M at home is for those same limitations. We don't have a true scorer to just go get buckets when we need buckets. We still turn the ball over a little too much. And our defense this year is not what it was last year, which is a little, like, even in games we lost last year, we were holding people to like under 65 losing games. Well, definitely under 70. Losing by the margin that we lost by at home, that's not That's not Buzz Williams and Texas A&M beating us by like 2 or 3, and then it came down to free throws. Like, that was a decisive victory by them at home. There's a gap here. If the other team has a legit scorer, somebody who can just go get, not a three-point shooting team where everybody just has to spot up. That's not what I'm talking about. Bruce and company can defend that. If there is somebody who commands the attention because they are a threat driving and they can just get buckets whenever they want to get buckets, we're in trouble. We don't have anybody we don't have a counter shot for that. That's what I'm seeing right now. If I was betting this team, and I did not, and I do not, don't bet the home team. All right. We did bet with B Will. When we first did the video for him, the number one rule, do not bet the home team because you were betting with your heart. I would not lose my money based on my heart. I have done it too much. If there's a legit score on the other side of the court, then I'm staying away from us until somebody comes to the forefront, until Flanagan outside shot solidifies and it stabilizes. Wendell can do it, but his size is going to be a hindrance if the other team is defending him properly. We don't have enough shot making. And Ike has said this all along, and I know he's going to reiterate this point, but we can scrounge together some good games. It's going to come down to, can you get buckets here?